My best friend disappeared after his brother got his wife pregnant. Now his family won't stop calling me. Because he's the only one who can save them. My phone's buzzing again. Third blocked call today. I know who it is. I'm not answering. I set the phone face down on my desk and go back to reviewing contracts. Property liquidation waits for no one, especially not for people who think persistence equals persuasion. The thing about my job is that it teaches you one essential skill: knowing when something's already dead. I buy commercial properties that failed, restaurants that couldn't make rent, offices that hemorrhaged tenants, warehouses that sat empty for years. Everyone else sees problems. I see potential. You just have to be willing to cut out the rot and rebuild from what's left. That's how I met Cassie and Rourke 5 years ago. I was looking at a property in the industrial district, former machine shop, decent bones, price too high because the owner was sentimental. Cassian was the fabrication guy next door, ran a precision metalwork company. High-end industrial parts, contracts with aerospace and medical equipment manufacturers. Serious operation. He walked over while I was taking measurements, introduced himself, gave me the real story on the property. Told me which walls were load-bearing, where the plumbing was shot, what I could actually salvage. Didn't ask for anything in return. Just handed me information I needed and went back to work. We weren't friends. We were just two people who understood that competence speaks louder than charm. Over the years, we'd grab coffee occasionally. Talk business, market trends, nothing personal. Cassian was the reliable type, married to Vivian for 6 years, close with his family, showed up on time, delivered what he promised. His younger brother Alistair ran a competing fabrication business. Smaller operation, but Alistair had the personality their family loved. Charismatic, always the center of attention at gatherings. Cassian was fine with that. He wasn't trying to be loved. He was trying to build something that lasted. 4 months ago, he disappeared. No warning. Just gone. Left his house one morning, didn't come back. Phone went dark. Business partners panicked. His parents were devastated. Vivian played the shattered wife perfectly, tears at family dinners. I don't understand what happened to anyone who'd listen. Alistair stepped up to support her, started handling some of Cassian's accounts, making sure Vivian wasn't alone. The police investigated. No evidence of foul play. No financial trouble. No history of mental illness. Just a man who walked away from his entire life. Everyone had theories. Breakdown. Affair. Secret gambling problem. Couldn't handle the pressure. I knew they were all wrong. Because 6 days after Cassian vanished, I got a text from an unknown number. Just GPS coordinates and 4 words: if you're in, come. I didn't hesitate. Didn't ask questions. I packed a bag, got in my car, and drove. 4 hours through back roads to a town I'd never heard of. One gas station, a diner that looked like it hadn't updated since 1987, and a row of rented warehouse units on the edge of nothing. I pulled up to the coordinates just after midnight. The unit was lit from inside, bare fluorescent tubes casting harsh light through small windows. I could see movement, a shadow passing back and forth. I got out of the car. The air smelled like dust and diesel. Quiet, except for the hum of a generator somewhere nearby. The door wasn't locked. I pushed it open. Cassian was sitting at a folding table in the middle of the empty space, surrounded by documents, laptops, file folders stacked in precise columns. He looked thinner, sharper somehow. Like he'd burned something out of himself and kept only what was essential. He didn't look surprised to see me. Didn't smile. Just watched me walk in. I closed the door behind me. "You came," he said. "You asked." He nodded slowly, then gestured to the chair across from him. I sat. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Just the sound of that generator humming, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. Then Cassian leaned forward, hands flat on the table, and looked at me with eyes that were completely, unnervingly calm. "I need you to choose." I waited. Cassian didn't waste time on small talk. He just started talking, voice steady, like he was reading from a report. 7 months ago, Vivian told me she was pregnant. I kept my expression neutral. Listened. We'd been trying for years. I was thrilled. She seemed happy, but something felt off. Anxious. Wouldn't let me come to appointments. Said she wanted to handle it herself, didn't want me hovering. He paused, fingers tapping once against the table. I didn't push. Figured it was normal pregnancy stress. But I started paying attention. Really paying attention. The generator hummed. Cassian's eyes didn't leave mine. 3 weeks later, I was at Alistair's office picking up some specs we were collaborating on. I walked past his private office and heard voices inside. Vivian and Alistair. Door was cracked open maybe 2 inches. I could see where this was going. Didn't interrupt. They were arguing. Quiet, trying not to be heard. I stopped. Listened. Alistair said, "After the baby comes, we'll figure out how to tell him. Just keep it together until then." Cassian said it without emotion. Like he was describing a business transaction. I didn't go in. Didn't confront them. Just walked away. Got in my car. Drove home. Acted completely normal when Vivian got back that night. "What did you do?" I asked. Hired a private investigator. Paid cash. Gave him 3 weeks to get everything. He reached into one of the folders on the table, pulled out a thin envelope, slid it toward me. I opened it. Hotel receipts. Text message transcripts. Photos of Vivian and Alistair entering the same building, leaving together. Timestamps going back 9 months. The affair started before she got pregnant, Cassian said. And she already had genetic testing done with Alistair. Confirmed the baby was his. They were planning to tell me after the birth, spin it as some kind of "we fell in love, we're sorry" situation. I set the envelope down. "There's more," Cassian said, and his voice got quieter. "My mother knew." That hit differently. Alistair told her 2 months before I found out. Begged her not to say anything because it would destroy me. She agreed. Chose to protect him instead of telling me the truth. I understood now why he disappeared. Not because he was broken. Because staying would have required him to keep pretending everything was fine while the people closest to him conspired behind his back. "So you left," I said. "I liquidated what I could without raising alarms. Took me 3 weeks. Transferred funds, set up shell structures, moved everything I could touch into accounts they couldn't trace. Then I walked out. Didn't file for divorce. Didn't leave a note. Just left. Why not burn it all down?" I asked. "Why not expose them, ruin them publicly?" Cassian's expression didn't change. Because explosions are loud and short. I wanted something that would last. Something permanent. He gestured to the document spread across the table. "I'm building something new. Clean businesses, legitimate money. But every move I make is going to position me to control the one thing Alistair actually cares about, his success. I'm not going to confront him. I'm not going to shout. I'm going to systematically erase his future while he watches everything fall apart and never understands why." "That's a long game," I said. "I'm patient." "And you need me for what?" Cassian leaned back in his chair. "I need someone I can trust. Someone who understands loyalty. Someone who won't ask questions when things look random but aren't. Someone who'll help me build the infrastructure I need to position myself exactly where I need to be." "Why me?" I asked. He looked at me for a long moment. "Because you're the only person who never asked me for anything I wasn't willing to give. And because when I disappeared, you didn't call asking questions. You just showed up. Fair point." I looked at the documents on the table. Business plans. Contract templates. Legal frameworks for companies that didn't exist yet. Then I looked at Cassian. "What do you need me to do?" He slid a folder across the table. "Help me build. Everything else will follow." 3 months in, and we had 2 companies running. First was the commercial property investment firm, my expertise. We started small, buying distressed properties in industrial zones, turning them around, either flipping them or leasing them out. Clean acquisitions, solid returns, everything documented. Second was the industrial supply consulting operation, Cassian's domain. We positioned ourselves as middlemen, connecting manufacturers with suppliers, optimizing supply chains, negotiating bulk contracts. Legitimate work. Good margins. I handled acquisitions and client relations. Cassian handled strategy and back-end operations. We worked 16-hour days, 7 days a week. No shortcuts, no shady deals. Everything we built was defensible, legal, traceable. But I started noticing patterns. When I'd bring Cassian potential properties to acquire, he'd always choose the ones near specific industrial corridors. At first, I thought it was just good business sense, proximity to manufacturers, access to transportation routes. Then I realized the corridors all connected to Alistair's business locations. When we signed suppliers for the consulting operation, Cassian always targeted companies that manufactured specific components. Steel alloys. Precision fasteners. Specialty coatings. All materials Alistair's fabrication business depended on. When we negotiated contracts, Cassian would build in terms that gave us options, First right of refusal, volume commitments, exclusivity clauses. Nothing unusual on the surface. But every contract gave us leverage over some piece of Alistair's ecosystem. I didn't say anything at first. Just watched. One night, I stayed late going through our client database. Started mapping connections. Within 20 minutes, I had it laid out, every supplier we controlled, every property we owned, every contract we'd signed, they all created pressure points around Alistair's operation. Cassian wasn't just building businesses. He was building a network of control. I did some research on Alistair. Publicly available information, social media, industry news. His business was thriving. He'd taken over some of Cassian's accounts after the disappearance, expanded his client base, landed a few high-profile contracts. He married Vivian 3 months after Cassian vanished, small ceremony, family was uncomfortable but showed up. The baby was born healthy. From the outside, Alistair looked like the hero. The responsible brother who stepped up when Cassian fell apart, who supported a devastated woman, who kept the family business strong. Perfect narrative. 4 months after we started, Cassian called me into his office. He had a contract on his desk, official letterhead, signatures, the works. Alistair's primary steel supplier just got acquired, he said, sliding the document toward me. I looked at the acquiring company's name. Recognized it immediately. One of our shell corporations. He doesn't know it's us, Cassian continued. Different corporate structure, different names on the paperwork. But as of next week, his steel costs are going up 18%. And if he wants to negotiate, he'll be negotiating with people who take orders from me. I set the contract down. How long have you been planning this? I asked. Cassian didn't hesitate. Since the day I heard Alistair's voice through that door. I'm not angry anymore. I'm just thorough. The steel supplier was the first crack. Not big enough to break Alistair, just enough to make him uncomfortable. Make him start looking for alternatives that didn't exist at the same price point. Over the next week, I watched how it played out. Alistair's business started scrambling, reaching out to other suppliers, trying to negotiate better terms. But the market had shifted, consolidation, mergers, price increases across the board. All movements Cassian had anticipated and positioned us to exploit. That night, Cassian showed me something that made my blood run cold. A timeline. 18 months, mapped out in precise detail. Month 6, secondary supplier acquisition. Month 9, key client migration. Month 12, contract renegotiations with terms Alistair couldn't meet. Month 15, credit line complications. Month 18, full financial suffocation. Every pressure point marked. Every move calculated. By the end of the timeline, Alistair's business would be drowning, and he'd never understand why. I looked up at Cassian. This is just the beginning. He nodded once. Wait until they realize they can't fix it. 6 months after Cassian disappeared, my phone started ringing. Unknown numbers. I ignored the first few. They kept coming, different numbers, same pattern. Persistent. Finally, I answered one. This is Donovan Rourke, the voice said. Strained, tired. I need to talk to you about Cassian. I kept my voice neutral. I don't know where he is. I think you do. Please. We need your help. I hung up. Blocked the number. The calls didn't stop. Cassian's mother, Iris, left voicemails. Her voice cracking, begging me to please, if you know anything, we're desperate. Alistair's number showed up. I deleted it without listening. Even Vivian called. I know you and Cassian were close. If you've heard from him, please. I told Cassian about the calls. His response was immediate, don't engage. Let them spiral. So I didn't. 2 weeks later, I pulled into my office parking lot at 7 in the morning and found them waiting. Donovan and Iris Rourke, standing next to a car that looked like it had seen better years. They looked older than I remembered. Worn down. I got out of my car. Didn't say anything. Donovan stepped forward. We know you've been in contact with Cassian. Please. We just need to talk. I run a business, I said. That's all. Iris's voice broke. Alistair's company is collapsing. He's drowning in debt he can't explain. His health is failing, stress-related complications, the doctors say. If things don't change. She couldn't finish the sentence. Donovan picked up where she left off. We've lost our savings trying to help him. Remortgaged the house. Borrowed from family. Nothing works. Every deal falls through. Every supplier backs out. Every loan gets called in early. It's like He stopped, looking for the right words. It's like someone's targeting him, Iris finished quietly. I stood there, keys in my hand, and for the first time, I truly understood the scope of what Cassian had built. This wasn't business competition. This wasn't market forces. This was surgical dismantling. Every contract Alistair signed that failed, Cassian had engineered the terms through intermediaries. Every supplier who dropped him, Cassian had bought them out or offered better deals through shell companies. Every loan that went bad, Cassian's operations were positioned as creditors when Alistair defaulted. The medical issues, pure stress from watching everything collapse without understanding why. Cassian hadn't just planned revenge. He'd built a machine that would systematically erase Alistair's future while looking like terrible luck. I can't help you, I said. You mean you won't, Donovan said, voice hardening. Same result. Iris stepped closer. He's your friend. Doesn't that mean anything? Friendship goes both ways, I said. Cassian had family too. Didn't stop them from choosing Alistair over the truth. Her face went pale. You know. I know enough. Donovan grabbed her arm. We made mistakes. We should have handled it differently. But this, what's happening to Alistair, this is too much. His business is gone. His health is failing. He has a child. A family. If Cassian would just what? I cut him off. Save the people who betrayed him? Fix the consequences they created? Neither of them answered. You need to leave, I said. They didn't move. Now. Donovan's jaw tightened, but he nodded. Helped Iris back to the car. Before getting in, he turned back. When you talk to Cassian, and I know you will, tell him we're sorry. Tell him we'll do anything. Please. I watched them drive away. That night, I met Cassian at one of our properties. Told him everything. The visit, the desperation, the plea. He listened without expression. When I finished, I asked the question, are you going to help them? Cassian looked at me for a long moment. Then he pulled out his phone and held it out. Tell them the truth. I stared at the phone in Cassian's hand. What do you want me to say? His voice was calm, flat. Tell them I didn't disappear because I was weak. Tell them I disappeared because I was done carrying people who destroyed me. Tell them everything happening to Alistair isn't bad luck, it's consequences. And tell them they're calling the wrong person. They're not asking me to come home. They're begging the man who dismantled their lives to save them. I took the phone. This was the choice. Bridge the gap or cement the divide forever. I made the choice. I dialed Donovan's number. He answered on the first ring. Please, if you have any information. I cut him off. I'm going to tell you something, and then you're never going to contact me again. Understood? Silence. Then, quietly, yes. Cassian didn't abandon you. You abandoned him. I heard his breath catch. When Alistair got Vivian pregnant, when your family chose to protect Alistair instead of telling Cassian the truth, you made a choice. Cassian made his own choice in response. We were trying to. I'm not finished. He went quiet. Everything that's happening to Alistair right now? Every failed contract, every lost supplier, every financial hole he can't climb out of? That's not the universe punishing him. That's Cassian. I heard movement on the other end. Voices in the background. Iris asking what was happening. He didn't blow up when he found out. He recalculated. He built something new. And every move he made was designed to align back to one thing, making sure Alistair would lose everything the same way Cassian did. This is insane, Donovan said, voice shaking. He's destroying his own brother over betrayal, I said. Over watching his wife and his brother carry on an affair while his own mother knew and said nothing. Over being treated like collateral damage in someone else's love story. Silence. You want to know why he won't help? Because you don't get to betray someone, watch them disappear, and then demand they save you when the consequences show up. Donovan's voice cracked. We made a mistake. We should have told him. But this is destroying Alistair. His health, his family, everything. If Cassian would just. No. You don't get to ask for mercy. Not from me, and not from him. Please, Iris's voice now, she'd taken the phone. Please, just let us talk to him. 5 minutes. We'll apologize, we'll do whatever he wants, just please. One more thing, I said, cutting through her plea. You're not calling to bring Cassian home. You're begging the man who destroyed you to save you. Think about that. I hung up. Over the next hour, I systematically blocked every number. Donovan. Iris. Alistair. Vivian. Extended family members whose numbers I'd saved from previous attempts. Business associates. Anyone connected to the Rourke name. Cassian watched without speaking. When I finished, he asked quietly, "Do you regret it?" I looked at him. Regret what? Choosing loyalty over people who only show up when they need something? He nodded slowly. "They'll try again," he said. "They always do. Let them try." 2 weeks later, the call stopped. The attempts didn't. I was leaving my office when a man in a suit approached me in the parking lot. Mid-40s, professional demeanor, holding a tablet. "I'm looking for information about Cassian Rourke," he said. "I understand you've had contact with him." "Private investigator." "Had to be." "You understand wrong." He didn't move. "The Rourke family hired me to locate him. They're willing to compensate you for any information about his whereabouts. Generously." "Not interested." "They're desperate," he continued. "Alistair Rourke is in the hospital. Stress-induced cardiac event. If you know where Cassian is," I said, not interested. He held out a business card. I didn't take it. "If you change your mind." I walked past him, got in my car, drove away. Watched him in the rearview mirror until he disappeared. 3 days later, they showed up. All of them. I arrived at the office to find them waiting in the lobby. Donovan. Iris. Vivian holding a toddler, blonde hair, Alistair's eyes. They'd gotten past the front desk somehow, probably played the desperate family card. I walked straight past them toward the elevator. "Please." Iris called out. "Just 5 minutes. That's all we're asking." I kept walking. "Alistair might not survive this," Donovan's voice, louder now. "Whatever Cassian is angry about, we can fix it. We can make it right." I stopped. Turned around. They looked worse than before. Iris had lost weight, dark circles under her eyes. Donovan's suit was wrinkled, needed pressing. Vivian looked hollowed out, struggling to hold the kid who was squirming in her arms. "You can't fix betrayal," I said. "You can't make it right. And you can't ask someone to save you from consequences you created." "We made a mistake," Iris said, voice breaking. "One mistake. Does that mean we deserve to lose everything?" "Cassian lost everything because of your mistake. So yes." Vivian stepped forward. "What about his child? What about family? Doesn't that mean anything?" I looked at the toddler in her arms. Looked back at her. "That's not his child. That's Alistair's. And family means something when it's mutual. You lost the right to call Cassian family when you decided his wife was negotiable." Her face went white. "Cassian Rourke didn't break when you betrayed him," I continued. "He didn't collapse when you chose Alistair over the truth. He repositioned. He built something better. And he made sure the people who destroyed his life would understand what that feels like." "So that's it?" Donovan said, anger cutting through the desperation. "He gets to play God? Destroy people's lives and feel justified? He's not playing anything. He's living with the choice you forced him to make." "And you?" Iris looked at me like I was something she couldn't understand. "You're okay with this? Helping him destroy people?" I chose my side the day he asked me to. And my loyalty isn't to the people begging for rescue. It's to the person who earned it. I turned to leave. "We'll keep trying," Donovan said behind me. "We'll find him eventually." I stopped at the elevator. Pressed the button. Turned back one last time. "No, you won't. Because I'm not letting you." The elevator arrived. I stepped in, pressed my floor, watched the doors close on their faces. I called building security from my office. Had them removed from the property, added them to a permanent no-access list. That evening, I met Cassian at one of our properties. "They showed up," I said. He nodded. "I figured they would. They'll keep trying. Let them. They're not getting through me." Cassian looked at me for a long moment. "Why? You don't owe me this." "Yes, I do. You gave me a choice when you could have walked away from everything, including me. You trusted me when you had no reason to. That's not something I take lightly." He didn't say anything. Didn't need to. Over the next months, the attempts continued but weakened. The investigator stopped showing up. The calls from new numbers became sporadic, then stopped entirely. I heard through industry contacts that Alistair filed for bankruptcy. Vivian moved back in with her parents. The Rourkes sold their house, downsized to an apartment. Cassian and I kept building. Our businesses grew. New properties, new contracts, new opportunities. But it wasn't about revenge anymore. It was just about building something that was ours. People think loyalty is about standing with someone when it's easy. It's not. It's about standing with someone when the whole world is telling you you're wrong. When desperate people are begging you to step aside. When you could make everything simpler by just giving in. Cassian Rourke didn't run from his family. He walked away from people who proved they weren't his family. And I chose my side a long time ago. So when they call, I don't answer. When they show up, I don't engage. When they beg, I don't bend. Because loyalty to Cassian Rourke means one thing. No one gets through me to reach him. Not even family. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.